And the psychological violence was more than you were able to expect, anticipate, and realize was going to happen as a reaction to you getting a new partner. You've given so much of yourself and your time to these children through their teenage years into their 20s that the enmeshment had become so strong, so great, so deep. When you started to share yourself in an intimate relationship with somebody else, the reaction from your family members was so hostile and psychologically violent and abusive, and it terrorized your person. You just didn't anticipate that this was going to happen. You had no idea that people that you had loved and cared for, nurtured and raised were going to be so vicious towards somebody that was doing the right thing by you. That's how enmeshment works. That's how surrogacy, parent to child, works. Children are not made to be in adult space. They're not made to be an adult, a parent's counselor, a confidant. Covert emotional incest is an intimate, sexless relationship between a parent and an adult child, or children. It can be more than one, and the combinations differ as well. But one thing's for sure is the parent now has put the child in a situation where it's a partner, an intimate partner of the parent, randomly, engaging randomly, and it's sexless, but it's most definitely intimate. So when the supply of the parent that's been shared with the children turns to an outsider, or somebody who the parent may take a liking to, a suitor, things go very, very strange, very, very quick, or over a period of time. And a lot of the time the parent won't realize how deep and savage this is going to become. And so they get a shock. They don't know what to do. So what do they do? There's two things you can do. The first thing is confront the issue. Stand up for the person that you are with. If they've proven to be a good, healthy suitor, do not let the violation and vandalism and terrorism of your child undermine the character of the person that you're with, because that's the first thing they're going to do. They're going to vandalize the person's character that you're with. It's called character defamation, and people go to court and get in trouble for it. But in this case, it's a domestic situation. The only people that will know will be the ones in the group and yourself. You won't know at first. This will be going on behind the scenes, covertly, but eventually it's going to go overt and it's going to be ugly. These people have no consideration for anybody but themselves, be it the parent or the child, whoever's causing the conflict, and they'll do whatever they have to terrorize the family member that you're with, to coerce them, try and coerce them into losing faith in you, having doubts in you. And mind you, if you're with somebody that's fluffing around and not fixing the issue, they better have doubts towards you, because eventually you're going to go. You're not going to tolerate it. We can only take so much. All of us can only take so much before we begin to break down ourselves and say, I'm sorry, but this is not a healthy environment for me to be in. I think you're a lovely person. We've tried our best, but because you have no backbone and you're spineless towards your children, they're actually the parent and you're the child. This isn't a situation that I want to be in. And it's very, very hard, because you might deeply love this person. You might want this relationship to flourish. And as a matter of fact, it probably is flourishing. I've had to separate from mothers that I've been involved with because they just would not bring order to the life that their children, to the interferences that their children were bringing to the life. There were no boundaries. You'll find that these people have very limited boundaries, and usually the healthy boundaries around the parent and the child to the exclusion of the relationship you're trying to have. As the relationship starts to dwindle and they become aware that you're not going to tolerate the behavior and the hostility, they will start to see things differently towards you. They will no longer be looking at themselves with the mirror on your forehead. You will no longer be the cure, as it were, because this is how these people live. They try and reflect themselves from your life. And you will no longer be that reflection. And they will start to buy into the bill that the desperate, hostile family member is selling. Because as you detach, or as you start to complain about what's going on here and they're doing nothing, this puts a stress on them, and they'll hold that stress for a certain amount of time until they start to break down because they can't fix the problem. So then you become the problem. That's how this works. You're just spectating, waiting for resolve. But what you don't realize is now you become the problem, because you're not playing the game. You're not playing the covert, emotional, incestual game. You do have boundaries, you do have principles, you know what you want, you know what you need, and the last thing you want is an interfering, selfish, misaligned, vicious, hostile family member on the fringes of the relationship, assassinating it. And as you bring confrontation to the issue and they're trying to dodge it, you become the problem. And this is where it all begins to break down. All of it begins to break down. That's how covert emotional incest works. It returns to itself. You were only a means of intimate supply, the supply that the parent or child, adult child, could not get from the family member. And when you realized through the emptiness and the discomfort of the relationship that that's all you were, and the person begins that realize that you're starting to detach, that's when it's time for you to realize that you have no other choice but to walk away and go no contact.